I was 21 years old, and I had just had my first beer. I was now officially my worst fear. I was a certified adult without a degree. I was gainfully unemployed, and I still couldn't grow facial hair. I had the time of my life on the road trip to the Lost Coast. On the way north, I slept in rest stops and towns that I didn't know the names of. I ended up using my entire AAA roadside assistance policy when I was on that trip. Allegedly, I'm really bad with key fobs. I own a value package Honda Civic that you can start with a flathead screwdriver if you know what you're doing. Also, who puts a sports mode in a rental car? A genius does. That's who. Eventually, after all my AAA encounters, I did make it to the Lost Coast, and I did what I came there to do. I swam off the coast, and it was terrifying. The water was freezing even with my wetsuit. 10 feet off the shore, the sea cliff creates a complete drop-off, and for the first time it dawned on me that if I miss my footing, if I hit one of these rocks, no one will ever find me. Not even the helpful people over at AAA. They'll just find an Enterprise Mini Cooper that's missing one of its 2 key fobs. You're welcome. I learned a great deal about myself on that trip, mainly because while leaving the Lost Coast, I blew out the rim on the Mini Cooper. Yeah, I was in sports mode, you better believe it. Because of this, I had to drive from the Lost Coast to San Francisco on a spare tire that was rated at 50 miles at a max speed of 50 miles per hour. I drove on that tire for 300 grueling miles. It took me 7 hours to make it to San Francisco. This made time slow way down. One might say to about 50 miles per hour in the slow lane. On that drive, one of the questions that kept coming up in my head was why was I spending so much time in Los Angeles chained to this West Hollywood apartment that I despised? This apartment was sending me back $800 a month, and at the current rate, I would be flat broke in less than 10 months. Months earlier, I dropped out of college and completely walked away from the life I lived to try and get into the entertainment industry. But the catch-22 of trying to be in the entertainment industry is you have to live near the entertainment industry. And this was sending me to the poorhouse. After those 7 hours of driving down the 101, the one thought I could not get out of my head was how much fun I had had by myself road tripping in the Mini Cooper. And I realized that this past week I hadn't stressed about money, or more importantly, my lack thereof. This got me thinking, what if I could live in my car around LA instead of renting my West Hollywood apartment? I could sleep in my car, then during the day, I could still shout at people and use the internet to learn. At night, I could shower at a gym, and once I had a better footing in the entertainment industry, I could get my own place. No roommates allowed. But I couldn't do this in the value package. I was 6'2" and possibly still growing. But what if I bought a cargo van? I mean, on paper, it made total sense. I could save money, I could avoid a rent check, I could travel when I wasn't working, and in the long term, I could use a van as a mini grip and electric truck after I was done living in it. In the meantime, if I lived in a van, I could make it my fortress of solitude. By the time I got to San Francisco, I was bubbling with the excitement of possibly solving my financial crisis by considering buying a cargo van to live in. And don't forget that San Francisco is Van City. If there's any city on this earth that could convince me the vans are cool and not creepy, it was San Francisco. But the thought of saying the words, "Hi, my name is Spencer and I live in my van," is what kept me from executing. I consider avoidance to be one of my strongest traits. Not my greatest, but it is my strongest. Most of the time, it comes to my own detriment, but sometimes it blesses me like no other. If I have anything important to do, I will clean the toilet, bleach the tub, and I'll find myself dusting the ceiling before I do what needs to be done. Shortly after picking up the value package from the shop with a brand new bumper, my friend Jimmy, the one who answered my email when I was trying to get in the film industry, told me he got a job shooting a movie in Louisiana. When I heard Jimmy had this job, immediately I begged his wife to convince him to let me go with him. It didn't matter if there was going to be an actual job for me in Louisiana. I simply wanted to be on a movie set, and I was looking for any excuse to break my lease in West Hollywood. Plus, if I could shadow Jimmy on a movie set and learn how to be a camera assistant, this could be my poor man's film school. So finally, after all this time of being near broke and holding off as long as I could without getting a real job, it all paid off. The moment Jimmy said yes, I bought my Southwest plane ticket, broke my lease in West Hollywood, pigeonholed that golden van idea, and fled to New Orleans with a suitcase and my camera, where I'd end up getting a paid job on Jimmy's movie for $7.25 an hour. I was now a 21-year-old certified adult who was gainfully employed, but I still couldn't grow facial hair.